Okay, we're at the start of our 3-day adventure to Tofino. And here we are in Horseshoe Bay at the very first stop of our adventure. I love coming early to Horseshoe Bay. Once I get through the gates and I'm checked in, you can leave the ferry area and come into downtown Horseshoe Bay and get a snack and a coffee. And really, this is when I start relaxing. When I'm past the gates, I know I'm here for my ferry on time, and we can start relaxing and looking forward to our trip. So again, this is the start of our 3-day adventure to Tofino. So much to see and do. Here we are, half an hour away from catching our ferry to Nanaimo. So more to come. Okay, now we're starting our journey on our BC Ferry. There you can see Vancouver in the background. It's about an hour and a half, 45-minute crossing from Horseshoe Bay to Nanaimo. And it's so beautiful. There's great food, great views, go on the outer deck. And the day we crossed, sure enough, lucky enough to see whales right beside the BC Ferry. So that was pretty darn cool. So the BC Ferry journey is excellent. Now a must stop when you're going from Nanaimo to Tofino, Ucluelet, Pacific Rim National Park is Coombs. And you know, the first time I went to Coombs was like 20 years ago, and how it has evolved. An amazing store, cafe, food area underneath the goats, ice cream, all sorts of arts and crafts to buy, statues. Very cool to watch the goats, not on the roof, just close up. And right here is the pizza place behind the goats, and it is incredible with a huge patio and interior design. There is the exterior. It's just stunning. So here's another cafe that actually wasn't open, but it's so pristine back here. This is through the fruit market, and there's this big area there and very relaxing. Now, I really loved crossing through the path to the other area and seeing all these statues. This is the Coombs Emporium, and this espresso that I had here, I had a chocolate iced mocha, and it really energized me for the rest of our journey. And very cool stuff in this store. So Coombs is a slight detour, but really right on the way, just minutes off the main road when you're heading towards Tofino. So it's a must stop in my opinion. Coombs. Okay, one more stop before we hit the Pacific coast is to stop in and check out the Cathedral Trail. This is a real must-do, I think, because it's right off the highway. My suggestion is on the way to Tofino or Ucluelet is you pop off, park to the right, park on the shoulder there as you can see, and do the trail on that side of the highway. And on the way home, you can do the other side of the trail, because I wouldn't suggest crossing the highway here. It's very busy. So again, there's a trail on both sides of the highway, and they're equally beautiful. So definitely stop in here. Here you can see we're starting the Cathedral Trail hike. Took us about 15 minutes. Cool. 300, 800-year-old trees. Really amazing. The Cathedral Trail is actually in MacMillan Provincial Park, better known by locals by its former name, Cathedral Grove, and is one of the most accessible stands of giant Douglas fir trees on Vancouver Island. So very, very cool. I know it as Cathedral Grove because I've lived in BC my whole life. But regardless, MacMillan Provincial Park, the trail is a definite must-do. So I'm going to be silent for a minute here, let you see our hike, and again a bit of the trail map before we continue on towards Tofino. Okay, we're back in the car. We are now leaving the Cathedral Grove area. And one big stop is a newly constructed viewpoint on your way just as you're getting close to the Pacific coast. And I highly suggest stopping in there. There are a few viewpoints on your way to the Pacific coast, and they're a nice break to take, a nice place to take a break. There's water accessible and it's very cool. Now I'm so excited. We've reached the Pacific coast. You just saw the sign for the Pacific Rim National Park. You saw the sign for the visitor center. This here we are, the silent sign Ucluelet to the left, Tofino to the right. And you are here, you've made it. The first time I came to Tofino was 30 years ago, and I remember this intersection. I'm like, I made it. On the left, you see the Ucluelet sign. On the right is the visitor center. That's more geared towards information for Ucluelet and Pacific Rim National Park. There is another visitor center, which I'll talk about later in the video. Anyways, now we are on the highway and heading towards Tofino. And a little bit of a recap where we came from. We came from Vancouver into Horseshoe Bay, took the ferry, hit Nanaimo, went to Coombs. Boy, that was fun. Went to Cathedral Grove, and now we're at the Pacific coast. Anyways, for our 3-day adventure in the Tofino area, we're actually staying in Pacific Rim National Park at what I consider the nicest, most amazing campsite in the world, Green Point. It is not a provincial campsite, British Columbia. It's a national campsite because it's in the national park. So you do have to buy a national park pass for every person if you're going to stop at any of the parking lots or go to Green Point, of course. So in Pacific Rim National Park, we are staying at Green Point campsite, and it was a bit of work to get in there. I'm going to do a completely separate video on Green Point campsite because there's so much there and there's so much stunning. So I'll show you a little bit on this adventure. But it was really our base of operations here for our adventure to Tofino and Ucluelet, because from Green Point, when you get back on the highway, it's 20 kilometers to the left to Tofino, which we did a full day trip to, and or it's to the right 21 kilometers to Uceleut, which we did a day trip to. Plus, you're right in the park, so there's a plethora of amazing hikes. So it is really, really cool. Okay, so we are slowly pulling in and arriving at Green Point campsite for our accommodations for the next 3 days. So here we are, and lots more adventures to come. Okay, we just arrived at Green Point campsite, which is our accommodations here in Tofino for this epic 3-day trip here in July. And I'll show more of the campsite later, but we just arrived. It's around 7 p.m. and I remember this because, as you know, I've been here many times before, but every 5 years. So the beauty of this place never ceases to amaze me. And look at this. It's summer and I have this whole beach to myself for a little evening sunset. So pretty incredible beach. Okay, we're here in Tofino. More adventures to come. Oh, that's cold. That's so cold. Ow! I might not make it. It is really cold, but beautiful. Okay, it's now day 2 of our adventure, and we're heading into downtown Tofino and ready to explore a little bit. This is, just a half kilometer before town, so the highway has gotten quieter and slower, and there's pedestrians, but there's still an awesome bike path, as you can see there. Now we're zipping into town. Now I really wanted to show you this because I consider this the start of Tofino, the downtown area. This intersection off to the left is the famous brewery. You can see here, I'm going to slowly make a turn to show you some of the amazing shops right here as you enter Tofino. A coffee shop, 2 surf shops so you can get all your supplies, crafts. And then the final thing I'll show is when we circle around and go to my favorite patio in Tofino. I went there first 20 years ago and it was called something else, and it's just such a great viewing platform for everything that's happening in Tofino, and you're so central there. Great food, we had poke bowls, great for families, lots of seating, good beer. One note, as you can see here, it says no RVs, no trailers, no camping, 1 hour only parking. So keep that in mind when you come to the downtown Tofino. With a big RV, I would do some research first, and even with a small vehicle, we came into town early at 10:30, so we could for sure get parking. Now we're going to do our little walk through downtown. And Storm is a famous surf shop in Tofino. Here's the map. That's where we just parked the vehicle, and then we've walked down towards the waterfront now. So that's a little map of downtown Tofino. First, second, third, 4th Street and Main Street, and it's quite a small downtown. Here's another one of my favorite shops to pop into. So much shopping to do when you're strolling through downtown. I love this sushi bar. Now we're right on the waterfront, and it's amazing, great views, and great food, and nice to be by the waterfront. And even there's a hotel here. There's the entrance. So what a quaint hotel. That's the lobby, and they have a patio and must have some epic views from that hotel. Okay, so Tofino is the launching point for so much. You can see some of the things listed there. I know I've gone to Mears Island from the harbor there on a water taxi. You can see the seaplane taking off, probably going to Vancouver and other places. I've done the hot springs tour on the inside passage, outside passage. But it is really your launching point for so much in Tofino. So much to do. Again, I really love the waterfront here. You can see all the beautiful islands and, the ocean. There's just so much to do. And here's where will probably get your fishing boats if you take a fishing activity or an ocean excursion. This is where that main drop off and pickup point is. Now I end our look at Tofino, the downtown, back on my favorite deck. So epic. So there's a little look at our adventure half day in Tofino. Okay, day 2 in Pacific Rim National Park, Tofino adventure. Camping at Green Point for 3 nights. Epic. And every day a little biking on the beach. Little body surfing. Of course, you can go real surfing, but we're not doing that this trip. That's a whole adventure on its own. So, thought I'd show you the beach a little bit. Let's go. Okay, for our accommodations here for our adventure, we are camping at Green Point Campground. I think this is one of the most stunning campgrounds in Canada. So if you're like camping and you're lucky enough to get a reservation, definitely come to Green Point Campground. Green Point Campground is the only campground in the spectacular Long Beach area of the National Reserve. And since 1962, people from all over the world have been coming camping here. So I'm going to actually do a separate video, as I do on this channel, more of a guide to the campsite that'll include all the details if you're going to camp there. But quickly, you know, the campsite has 94 sites with power, which is very unique in British Columbia. So if you're an RVer or just in a small vehicle, having power is quite nice. There's also 20 walk-in sites, one tent that you can rent, a group campsite, flush toilets, showers. There's showers inside for a nice shower, and there's exterior showers if you're in a wetsuit, because of course, being at this campsite, as you've seen, you're right on Long Beach, which is stunning. I think one of the best beach locations in this entire area, right from the campsite. And a lot of people are surfing. So you have these shower facilities if you're in your wetsuit and you're all sandy, and you can rinse off outside. So really amazing. Now, another thing I've never seen in the 50 to 75 campsites I've been to in British Columbia, and that is a dishwashing area with hot water and sinks. So they also have that. They have fire pits. They have a sandy dump if you're an RVer. So this has been an amazing base of operations for our adventure here to the Tofino Pacific Rim National Park, Ucluelet. Right from the campsite, you can go on a 10-kilometer walk along the beach. So Green Point Campground is an amazing campsite and was a great base of our operations here for our adventure on the Pacific Coast. Okay, here we are on our adventure to Ucluelet. Here I am driving through downtown, so you get a little sense of what the downtown is like. And our main objective right now is to go to the very end of town. I always like to do that in my videos so I can show you, the viewer, sort of like the ends of the trail, the end of the town, to help inform you on these locations and adventures, to help you decide if you want to go here and what to see. So I highly suggest when you come to Ucluelet, maybe the first thing you do is do this adventure. Go early, because you'll see in a minute the parking situation. And that is to go to the very end where you can see a glimpse of the Pacific Ocean and some natural beauty on the Pacific Trail, the Pacific Coast Trail. Now, As I pull in here, you can see the parking lot is not huge and probably not best for big RVs. If you have a big RV, about half a kilometer before this lot, there were some spaces for larger vehicles. Anyways, I love this trail because 50 feet from the parking, you have incredible views and things to see, like the lighthouse and the Pacific Trail. And you can decide to do a short look and check out the lighthouse or go on some hikes and some adventures from here. If you're lucky, you can hear whales from this area, or sea whales. I was actually, when I first went here 10, 15, 20 years ago, I thought I was hearing whales, and I was actually hearing a buoy that is out in the ocean that helps mariners for decades and decades and decades here and help them navigate into this area. So it's a buoy that floats around and makes these different noises when it's in the waves. So that's not the whales, because it's going all day long if there's bigger seas. But you can hear whales on the trail, and I actually have heard whales from the trail, so that's pretty darn cool. Okay, so now we finished the trail hike, and now we're heading into, again, downtown Ucluelet, but to the harbor. Now, I'm taking it very slow here because this view here is worth $1 million that you'll see here in a minute. This is why I find Ucluelet, I don't know, just so peaceful, so amazing. Tofino also amazing, but the view that you're gonna see here as I turn the corner is breathtaking. And from here, you can go on all sorts of adventures. Go to the Broken Island group if you're a kayaker, fishing, hiking. On the top of that mountain that you're about to see is an observatory. Just so peaceful. Just thinking we came from the wild Pacific Ocean and now you're in the inlet, and it's so calm. So a great place to have lunch, go to the aquarium, see some sights. Anyways, you can see how gorgeous it is here. We had a calm day, and I would highly suggest you come down to the waterfront when you're spending time in Ucluelet and check it out. Okay, now we're heading out of Ucluelet. We've had lunch, we've had an adventure downtown. Here's the map that I love that's at the visitor center. You can see where we just came from. And now we're going to do some more adventures as we head back towards our campsite and Tofino. And there is just so much to do in Pacific Rim National Park. So our first stop is the Rainforest Trail. Again, so many things to do in the park. So I've just picked a few, but there are many adventures to be done here. Remember, you'll have to buy your park pass if you haven't already, if you want to park at any of the parking lots within Pacific Rim National Park. But it's well worth it if you're in the Tofino, Ucluelet, Pacific Rim National Park area. Spend a little money. It's not much. Get your parking pass, and then you can stop and park for free in all of these different areas to do some adventuring. So I'm going to be silent here for a few seconds to let you see how beautiful this walk is here at the Rainforest Walk. Okay, now we're just minutes away doing another adventure to Florencia Bay. And this bay is incredible. We didn't spend a lot of time down here this time because we had a lot of beach access and time, but it is simply gorgeous. Look at this drive in to the parking lot area. I speeded up a little bit here. Here there's lots of parking. You'll see in a second, but there's actually lots of parking here. And something about this area is, look at this Google shot. It's a huge bay. Again, like all the places I went to, there's no one there. You have endless kilometers of walking and adventures, or just sitting and watching the ocean. And if you didn't have access like we did to Long Beach from the campsite, or Wickaninish, or you just didn't have access, I would highly suggest come and do a day trip here, because here you get that exposure to these amazing beaches. So a lot of history here from a shipwreck, and here I'm giving you some views of the bay, and it's just incredible. As I said, I didn't venture down to the bay, but I'm going to give you some shots on the 1 kilometer walk we did, checking out the bay. And again, there was trails everywhere to do in this area, so I highly suggest. There's much more to do here than, say, the Rainforest Trail. So if you want an outing for the day, spend an hour, spend a few hours, come here for sure. I'm just going to zoom into the map and let you discover a little bit of this area and all the hiking and things you can do here. Okay, now I'm changing the energy level a little bit, because we're at the original Tofino surf shop that's actually been here since 1984. And I actually came here probably 30 years ago. How it has grown. You can get all of your surfing rentals, equipment, rent or buy. There's a cannabis store, as you can see there. There is 2 ice cream places, a coffee place. The original Tacofina taco place that everyone seems to have to come to, I'm going to show you in a minute, is incredible tacos. It's so amazing. Gift shop you can see there. Can definitely spend a few hours here. When you go and order your taco, you can actually get a device that will notify you when your food is ready, and you can walk through this whole original Tofino surf shop area and then be notified when your tacos are ready. So check it out. Not a lot of seating, and it was in the sun, so maybe bring a hat, but incredible food here that we had at the original Tofino surf shop. So come check it out. Okay, well, it's a little sad, but it's the end of our 4-day adventure here in Pacific Rim National Park. I was gonna do the closing video at the information center when you leave this area, which is right at the junction of the highway where you can turn left or right to Ucluelet and Tofino. So I would suggest stopping in at that visitor center. As soon as you pull into this area, they have so much information on hikes, maps, washroom, Wi-Fi. They have stickers. You can book activities there. There is also another information visitor center if you turn right in towards Tofino, and it's quite close to Tofino. And again, tons of information. Same visitor centers run by the province of British Columbia and the Tourism Association. So I highly suggest you pull into those visitor center. Yeah, like I said, I was going to do the closing video there as we leave Pacific Rim National Park, but I thought I would do it here because there are so many incredible things to do in Pacific Rim National Park. Tofino, Uceleut, hikes, bikes, mountain bikes, kayaking, surfing, body surfing. We didn't do any of the organized activities. You can go to Mears Island, you can go to hot springs, you can go fishing. It's endless what you can do up here. Yeah, but I thought I would do the conclusion video here on the beach, because probably the number one thing for me to do when you're in this area is to come to these amazing beaches. Look at Long Beach behind me. It goes on at least 4 kilometers because I rode my bike down there. And that's just one of the beaches. So thought this would be a good place to finish off this video, is on the beach. Going home today will be fun, but we're gonna beeline it, and you saw a lot of the great stuff coming here. You know, we went to Cathedral Grove, Coombs. There are so many things on Vancouver Island. Those are videos in themselves, and I've done some of those videos on the Cowichan Valley, so you can check out my channel for more there. But today, pretty much take our time driving along that scenic highway all the way back to Nanaimo, and then catch a ferry back to Vancouver. So anyways, as always, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe, please like, please share this video. And you know, my goal for these videos is not to show you exactly what I had for breakfast every morning, just to show you generalities of these destinations to help you decide if you want to invest your time and energy to come here. So vacations are expensive, take a bit of travel, but I must say, living in British Columbia for my whole life and coming to Tofino for basically 30 years, every 10 years or so, this has got to be probably number one, definitely in the top 3 things to do in British Columbia. And it really helps when you have bluebird epic sunny days. Be prepared for rain and clouds here in Tofino. It's still awesome. It is still awesome, but we've had a bluebird 3-4 days here in the Pacific Rim National Park. So I'll conclude with saying this is definitely in the top 3 of the best vacations and things you can do in British Columbia to come to Pacific Rim National Park, Tofino, Ucluelet, in this area. So there you go. As always, thanks for watching and have a super day.